I just killed 5 people. Well, technically about to be 6.
Can you repeat that?
I killed 5.
You just killed 5 people?
Yes.
A disturbing phone call would come into 911 dispatch, detailing a horrible situation. Police would race the Suntrust bank, coming to the realization that this could be a deadly confrontation. As details would emerge about the case, multiple failures would be blamed for a horrific tragedy that could have been avoided. It was a quiet Wednesday like any other, and as late morning in Sebring, Florida approached, employees of the local Suntrust bank were serving customers and beginning to consider breaking for lunch. Nothing would indicate this day was any different than any other. Outside, a car would pull up, and a young man in a hoodie would approach the bank. The young man would pause at the door, seemingly talking to himself. While the employees inside thought nothing of it, they couldn't have possibly imagined what was about to happen.
I just killed 5 people. Well, technically about to be 6.
Can you repeat that?
I killed 5.
You just killed 5 people?
Yes. If you didn't think I could do it, but...
Why did you do that?
I honestly don't know.
Sir, what did you kill them with?
9mm.
A 9mm?
Yep.
Where are they?
Lying up against the wall, like I told them to.
They're lying up against the wall like you told them to?
Yep.
Authorities would begin racing to the scene, attempting to try and understand exactly what was going on. All they knew was that a gunman was inside the bank, and he'd already claimed on the phone to 911 dispatch that he had already killed 5 people. Not knowing if there was more people in the bank being held hostage, storming in there was too risky of an option. Police were trying to stop any further bloodshed, not cause more, and would wait for further information before making any drastic decisions.
Okay. So, can I have your name so I know what to call you? Can I have your name? No, you don't want to let me know. Okay. I understand. Okay, my name's Kristen. That's who you're talking to.
911 dispatcher Kristen Johnson was doing her best to defuse the situation when another call would come into 911. This call would be from Benjamin Wachowski, an employee at Suntrust Bank. He had been in the kitchen area at the rear of the bank enjoying a meal and watching YouTube on his phone when he had heard the gunshots. Benjamin would immediately exit the bank and run to call for help, assuming a robbery may be in progress. His call would appear to confirm what the disturbed person on the other phone line was telling police dispatch.
Okay, can you check on the victims for me?
I don't know what I'll do when I see them.
Oh, you don't know what you'll do when you see them. Okay, I understand.
I'm keeping them quiet.
Okay, you're keeping the voices quiet with the gun to your... Do you want...
I don't know what they'll do when they see them still alive.
I understand. Okay, would you be okay to speak to one of our deputies? I have Chris here, and he would like to talk with you. You were doing really good talking with me. Can you talk to Chris for me? Sure. Oh, thank you so much.
Kristen would hand off the call to Deputy Chris Carr, a crisis negotiator who was trained for this very situation. He would attempt to find out a little information, such as where Zephen was inside of the building, and if there were any further people with him. Chris needed to know if this was going to become a hostage situation that police would need to treat more carefully, or if the man on the other end of the phone had intentions of shooting it out with police.
How many people are there with you now?
There was 5 before I got here.
There was 5 before you got there?
I don't know.
police on scene could only speculate as to what was really going on inside the bank, as information at this time was scarce.
Someone shot?
I don't know, but...
They said there's 2 down inside on the video. They could just be down on the ground. He said 5. Heard 5 people shot.
That's what I heard.
That's what he did.
He said he killed 5, and there's 2 more in there.
As time would pass, the frustration of officers was beginning to show.
We should have gone in. This is our scene.
Not our call.
I know, and I know that, but this is our scene. We go in. That is what we're trained for. It doesn't matter if it's a fucking bank or a school.
Diego,
Someone's already been shot. This is not a fucking robbery.
where's the fucking Mark Unit?
Shut the fuck up. Just...
The man that would be talking with police from inside of the bank was Zephen Xaver. He would continue to talk with Chris, the crisis negotiator, and had told him that his name was Jack. He started getting concerned about the presence of people outside the bank. While he would continue to talk with police, a perimeter was being set up all around the bank, with all access to the area being cut off to the public.
Jack, are you there, Bubba?
Yeah.
Okay.
I took off my vest. But
You did-
I can't breathe. It's hot.
It's hot in there?
I'm just hot. I can't breathe.
Okay. Are you standing up or sitting down?
Sit down at the moment.
Jack, stand up for me. And just breathe deep through your nose and out through your mouth 2 or 3 times, but do it slow.
I can't.
Huh?
I can't.
Why is that?
I don't.
Can you lay down and breathe? Or what are the voices telling you now?
Shoot.
Are they okay with you talking to me? Or are you having to fight them over that?
I don't like it.
They don't like it?
No.
Is there something I could say or do that would make them okay with me talking to you? Maybe make them feel a little easier with me?
No. They can hear the people outside, and now they're getting louder again.
What's that?
I can hear the people out in the lobby. It's getting loud.
You can hear the people out in the lobby? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's worry about you, Jack. Okay? Let's not worry about them right now.
It's not them. I'm worried about it. Voice is getting louder.
Alright. Alright. So other than the voices, it's just you in that room by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, Bob.
The SWAT intervention team had arrived and was considering a forceful entry, as the danger to anyone still inside was ever present. While this could be a dangerous move, authorities were left with little option. Chris, meanwhile, would continue to talk with Zephen and would attempt to get him to surrender without incident.
Do you think you're ready to talk to somebody? Or you can talk to me in person if you like. I'll come over there. It'll take me 5 minutes to drive there. What do you think?
How will I know it's you out there?
Huh?
How will I know it's you out there?
Because I'll describe me, and I'm going to tell you something on the phone that's only about me, like a code word, because you and I are the only ones on the phone, and I'll describe me to a T.
Okay.
Okay? But in order for you to do that, I'm going to have to tell you certain things that you need to do before you come out and talk to me, but I'll talk to you in person, face to face. And we can talk as long as you need to talk. I would just need to know if you're more comfortable coming out the front or the back, and I would just tell you how I need you to come out. Because I don't want to see you, I don't want anything to happen to you.
I don't want to see a lot of people.
Okay. Well, maybe I can find out. Well,
They're out there.
Okay. Well, I'll find out. But if somebody came in to get those people,
they're telling me to step out, my hands up.
Who is?
The people outside.
No, stay in that room for right now. Don't listen to them. Okay? Unless you're ready. But I'd rather tell you, I don't want you to come out unless I tell you how to come out so that I know you're going to be safe. Right now it's me and you on the phone.
They're telling me to go outside.
Well,
they're...
Hold on a second. Don't be scared. You're with me. And they're not going to come in that room. They're not going to come in that room. It's just me and you on the phone. That's why I made sure that we had a phone that worked so you and I could keep talking. If I didn't care, I wouldn't have done all that. Okay?
They're telling me to follow their commands and step out my hands above my head with nothing in my hands.
Okay, hold on one second. I'm not going to hang up or anything, but let me find out what's going on. What's that? All right. They're out there. I don't know why they're talking to you, but they're waiting on me to tell them it's okay and that you're going to come out.
He told him he needed to come out, or the SWAT team were going to force entry to the building. The SWAT team were beginning to lose patience, and were beginning to give him audible commands. SWAT had used their armored vehicle to smash open the locked front doors of the bank. They were on the verge of storming the facility. Meanwhile, Chris was doing his best to put an end to the situation without any further loss of life. He tells Zephen what to do in order to get out of the situation safely, using his favorite color black as a motivator.
Alright, ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's say black. You say it for me. You say black?
Black.
Okay, count to 10. Go ahead and put the phone down, count to 10, and then start out the front door. Alright, Jack, go ahead, buddy, if you can hear me. Jack, listen to him. Just listen to him, Jack, if you can hear me. I'm still here. Jack, you're doing great. Listen to them, buddy. Listen to what they have to say. You're doing fine, Jack. I think you're doing good, Jack. Keep listening to them.
The tense situation would come to a peaceful conclusion, with Zephen surrendering to police without any further loss of life. Police would now get their first glimpse inside of the bank, and the scene was devastating. Against the wall, lined up were the bodies of 5 women. 4 were bank employees, and 1 was a customer, simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. 54-year-old Deborah Cook was a grandmother of 2 and worked as a teller at the bank. She had been married to her husband since 1984, having 2 sons together. 65-year-old Cynthia Watson had only married a month before. She was a local jewelry maker and lived on a nearby farm caring for small animals. 38-year-old Anna Pinon Williams, a mother to 7 children who miss her dearly. 55-year-old Marisol Lopez was a loving mother to 5 children with her husband Victor. She was also a Sunday school teacher and a member of her church's choir. 31-year-old Jessica Montague, the youngest to lose her life, was a mother to 5 children. After the building was cleared of any further potential threats, the forensics team would move in to investigate the scene. The bodies of the 5 women were removed and taken to the coroners so autopsies could be performed. All of the women had died from gunshot wounds to the back of the head, while 2 of the women had evidence of multiple gunshots. Shell casings littered the ground in the area where the women had lost their lives. The bulletproof vest Zephen had described taken off in a phone call could be seen, along with his 9mm pistol, his cell phone, his wallet, and a knife. Also located with those items were several spare 13-round magazines. Zephen Xaver had a brief stint in the army. However, he would be discharged after admitting to other soldiers that he dreamt of killing people, and this would allow him to do that. After being discharged, he would move back to Florida with his mom, and would gain employment as a corrections officer. He would work at a local prison for a few months before quitting the job, seemingly for no reason, which was just a few weeks before the tragedy at the bank would take place. While some of the facts of the case were now known, what wasn't was why. Why did these women lose their lives for what appeared to be no reason? Investigators would sit down with Zephen to try and get an understanding of why this tragic event took place.
Anything else excite you?
I try to keep myself as little excitement as I can.
So you're trying, and you've told me that a couple times now, and why is that? Why do you keep yourself calm, or why do you keep yourself from being excited?
As soon as I get excited or happy or something happens, voices in my head start telling me to do bad things again.
Okay. So when you get excited or you get happy, you say you hear some voices in your head? All right.
Anytime something positive happens or seems like everything's going okay.
What do these voices tell you?
Hurt people, kill people, kill.
Is it always the same voice?
There's at least five.
Five different voices you hear?
That I can differentiate from my own.
How long have you been hearing these voices for?
Since I was 11. I need that tissue again.
There you go. Got it? Alright, so since you're 11, you've been hearing these voices, and do they, when they speak to you, do they normally say the same things?
No, sometimes it's as simple as, just go push this person, go smack, hit, pull someone's hair, spit on them, do something to make their life hell. Other times it's as bad as today.
Okay. So, in the past, when you've heard these voices, you would do what they told you to do? Have you ever actually did what they told you to do?
Only once.
Tell me a little bit more about what's going on in your life since you've been living here in Sebring for the last year to year and a half. What's going on with you?
I've just been trying to find a job that gives me a strict schedule and has a chain of command that keeps my mind focused on exactly what they tell me to do and not, you do it how you think you should do it. It's being told exactly how to do it, when to do it, and what time it needs to be done, not given a choice about anything.
Sure. You follow directions well?
I try to.
Why do you not want to do it your way or how you want to do it?
Because once I start thinking about how to do things, they start talking and telling me how to do bad stuff instead of doing it how it should.
They would now attempt to gain an understanding of what led him to carry out this horrific act.
So you had a nightmare, you woke up, couldn't go back to sleep, so you're just up and awake.
Yeah.
All right, now tell me what'd you do?
Just
hung out, music?
turned on music and played a game on my phone.
Did you talk to anybody?
Until about 9.
About 9 a.m. you did?
Yeah.
Who'd you talk to?
Just a buddy of mine on my Xbox. I played a game for a little bit and then I told him that I had to go because things were getting a little loud in my head and I was just trying to kind of go off to a quieter place, be nothing happening, no real movement, trying to just get out of my head.
Sure. Alright. And then what?
It kept getting louder and louder.
That's the voices. Can you remember what they were telling you?
They've been telling me to do it for over a week when they'd gotten me to buy the gun and the vest and all the ammo.
The 9mm Springfield pistol used to carry out the crime, and the bulletproof vest and ammunition were all bought from Boom Boom Guns and Ammo, a local store in Sebring. Zephen had filled out the appropriate paperwork to purchase the pistol, failing to disclose any psychological problems he had. After a week of waiting, he picked up the gun and purchased a further 50 rounds of 9mm ammunition, as well as some spare magazines for the gun. A further week later, he returned and bought the bulletproof vest that he would wear into the bank. The interrogating officers would now ask him about how he ended up in his car and at the bank on that fateful day.
You're at your house. Tell me what happened before you left your house. I know you said the voices were getting loud. What happened before you left? What made you leave?
It kept getting louder and they kept saying to leave. And every time I get closer to the door, closer to my car, they'd get quieter. So then I finally got to the car and was pulling out of the driveway and they stopped yelling. They stopped for a while. I just drove, figured that maybe if I just drove, I could calm down, and I turned on music, and I just kept driving. I've never done anything anywhere near this, so I figured I'd just drive and calm down. I've done it before, I've just driven and calmed down. I was younger, my dad and I got into a really heated argument, and he kicked me out. At night, I drove my car that I had at the time, and just drove. I was just driving from town to town, back and forth, just trying to calm down. Yeah, it worked. I didn't do anything. I didn't hurt anybody. I didn't hurt myself. I just drove. I figured that would happen again. It didn't.
Okay. So before you got in the car to drive, how did the gun and the vest get in the car?
I put it on before I left.
Oh, you put the vest on before you got in the vehicle? You put it on in your home?
That was the first thing they told me to do.
They told you to put the vest on?
Put on the vest. I thought maybe they wanted me to just kill. I didn't know what was happening. And they told me to grab the gun, and I thought they were just going to have me kill. And I just kept screaming to go in the car.
So as you're driving down 27, then what happened?
As we're getting closer to the bank, the voices started to pick back up and start yelling again. Told me to pull over and stop. I didn't have anywhere I could stop.
Okay, so that's when you pulled into the bank? Okay. Well, tell me once you got in the bank parking lot, what happened?
Just sat there for a while. Felt like forever. Just trying to stop myself.
Okay.
Even when I got in there and I was standing in front of her, staring off into space, trying to not think, so I could just walk back out. But
so you walked into the bank? You got out of your car and went inside? Were you wearing the vest? Did you have your gun? And then tell me what you saw when you got in, when you opened the door and went in the bank. What'd you see?
5 people.
What happened?
I was talking to the bank teller, and she asked if she could help me. I pulled the gun out, and I told her, help me by stepping out from behind the counter. All of you. There's 2 behind the counter. I told them to get up against the wall. They both walked out. They didn't argue. They didn't just listen and walked. The lady I told to get out from behind the counter and get against the wall. I turned around and said that I need all of you guys to get against the wall. And one of the ladies came back with a sarcastic okay, and the lady behind the counter just said, get against the wall, just listen to him. And so I told her I asked who could lock the doors. That's what they told me to do, is to lock the doors so no one can get in. I locked the doors. I told them to lay on the ground. I told me to tell them to lay on the ground. I told them to lay on the ground and screaming to shoot. I just stood there for a sec. I didn't want to hurt anybody. I don't like hurting people.
Yes, sir.
They told me to shoot. It got to the point where I was aiming at them. I had my finger off the trigger. I didn't want to shoot. They just kept tormenting me and screaming.
What were the ladies doing?
Asking me why.
And so they were standing up there? What happened?
They were on their stomachs, facing the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Just aiming. Didn't think I'd... They told me to shoot them, and I put my finger on the trigger, pulled, and they started crying and shooting.
Zephen Xaver would go to trial and would initially plead not guilty of the crimes. Only weeks later, he would change that plea to guilty in the murders of the 5 women in the bank. Because of the depravity of the crime committed, the jury would come back with a vote in favor of the death penalty. It had come out during the trial that his mom had let him stop taking his medication for his mental illness. She would also assist him in purchasing the firearm, which would ultimately end up taking the lives of 5 innocent people, and would receive severe criticism from the public. Testimony of a court-appointed psychiatrist would refute the claims of Zephen being mentally ill, believing that he was operating completely normally at the time he committed the crime and understood exactly what he was doing. Out of a terrible tragedy, however, came a good story. Kristen Johnson, who was the 911 operator who first talked to Zephen, was given an award for the first responder of the month. Her composure and understanding in such a heated and tense situation was lauded by her co-workers and superiors. Zephen Xaver was just 21 at the time he committed this brutal crime. While the death penalty has been recommended, Judge Angela Cowden could reject that and instead sentence him to life in jail. At the time of making this video, the decision has not yet been finalized. If you've been fascinated by this case, consider subscribing so you don't miss our next captivating deep dive into true crime. Channel memberships are also available by hitting the join button. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.